Good morning, good afternoon. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the cattle industry in Texas, kind of how it got started, political, economic, and social impacts. So we'll be dealing with all the different things that go into it. So let's take a look here. Um, First thing is you've got a little video clip right here, and then you're going to answer the questions of what was the Texas challenge. It's only a minute video. It's going to talk about what the challenge was of transporting cattle and how they fixed that. You can highlight north or south of which direction it was and what was the name of the first cattle drive. That'll all be in there. After the Civil War ended in 1865, all slaves in Texas and the rest of the United States were free. Cotton plantation owners were suddenly without free labor for planting and picking cotton. The cotton industry declined, and many farmers had to find new ways to make a living and feed their families. They turned their attention to the millions of longhorn cattle running wildly in Texas. What major crop declined after the Civil War? Okay. All the cattle in the world seem to be coming up out of Texas. Teddy Blue Abbott, a cowboy in 1883. During the Civil War, cattle drives declined. But after the Civil War, Texas had millions of cattle roaming across the state. America's rapidly growing big cities in the north and east provided markets for beef. Cattle would sell for $4 each in Texas, but up to $40 each in Kansas and up to $80 in New York. Ranchers hired cowboys to herd cattle north to the railroads. Why would the railroads deliver cattle alive to the big cities? And probably the reason would be is because if you could get more here in Kansas, and as you further you go up north, the more it's worth. Okay, then we take a look. The Chisholm Trail was the main route for the cattle drives. It ran through San Antonio, Austin, and Fort Worth, Texas, before crossing, here's the Chisholm right here, into Abilene, Kansas. The cowboys spent weeks on the trail, guiding herds by day and camping under the stars at night. In 1871, the biggest year for the Chisholm Trail, 600,000 longhorn cattle were herded to Kansas. Once in Kansas, the cattle were loaded onto railroad cars and taken to cities in the east. And then what is the Chisholm Trail? It's all in here. You've got this video clip here to explain it as well. You just click on it. And then you've got this map of the trails. How did the cattle trails tend to begin in South Texas? And then how did cattle go from Abilene, Kansas to Chicago? Usually by rail. Okay, and then this one is just sort of a think question. If ranchers can sell cattle in New Orleans for twice the price they get in Texas, which is $8, how much would they get in New Orleans? Kind of a math one there. The rancher brought a herd to California where the price per head was 13 times the Texas price. The herd started with 1,800 cattle, but during the trip, 79 were lost. Once in California, how much was the herd worth? So a little bit of math for you. And then we've got a video here on one of the more important technologies. We don't think of things like this as technology, but here's sort of the answers here. What was the purpose of barbed wire? And then you have the sentence frames. And that is pretty much it with the cattle industry.